Archbishop Jean Sleiman, thank you very much indeed for your kindness in speaking to us a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the situation for Christians in Iraq now? Is the situation difficult for Christians in Baghdad?
I think it's still difficult, not only for Christians, but even for every Iraqi, for Muslims, Kurds and others. Maybe the Christians feels more the difficulties than others because they are minority. They are not fighting for power, but they pay for all the fights for power. It means that they pay something that is not there. They pay for others. Now, honestly, the situation is better. Even is still worse. It's better because in the laws we have more freedom. We have a government surely different from the dictatorship that was reigning for 35 years, if I am not wrong.
You mean the regime of Saddam?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But we are still bad because the state isn't controlling all the country. Maybe there is another difficulty in rebuilding a state. It's the culture, so the minds. I think the minds are not minds of a state, of laws. And we have to do what we can do for changing the minds.
Yeah. One of the main problems is, of course, that Christians and others are leaving.
Yes.
How serious a problem is that for the church in Baghdad?
It's
here?
very serious. It's dramatic. I think Christians lost their link to their country. Many of families are living without any hope to come back. They are selling everything. They are leaving everything. And this is very dangerous for the presence of churches in this country.
Do you think it threatens the long-term survival of the church in Iraq, this exodus of people?
Humanly speaking, yes.
But what is Aid to the Church in Need doing to help Christians?
I think Aid to Church, as other Catholic agencies, are invited to help those who are still in Iraq to stay in Iraq, to live better, to rebuild their not only their houses or their schools, their churches, but even their lives. It's important to have a job, to have some hope for future. Maybe the most important thing that Aid to the Church in Need can offer is really to help Christians to deep their mission in this country, to deep their really to discover again that their presence isn't a casual presence. And
what is the mission of Christians in Iraq, in Baghdad?
I think nowadays the mission of Christians in Iraq is to testimony for love, for truth, for honesty, for a good citizenship in this country.
And you have been Archbishop here in Baghdad since 2001, I think.
Yes.
How has that experience developed your own faith?
I thank God because I am here because of providence. I don't explain many things in my life, but with the providence of God. I am sure that when a church gives a message to someone, it means God is giving this mission and God will help. I believe in the grace of state. It's a translation from Latin, if you are sent as a priest, you have really the help of God to do good your ministry as priest or bishop, as bishop, etc. This is very important in our spirituality as Catholics.
Yes. And what do you fear most, perhaps, for Christians in Baghdad? Do you fear, for example, that there won't be any Christians left? Or is your fear more that they will not be accepted in an increasingly Islamic environment?
I fear for something very different, maybe qualitatively. I think Christians are tempted to be very, very pious and not to leave their faith. It's important that they deep their faith.
That they deepen their faith.
Yes. And even in societies like Muslim societies, the testimony is very important. If you are testifying what you create, I think many, even Muslims, change the relation with you.
Well, as you know, Archbishop, Aid to the Church in Need has helped with mass stipends for priests, for support for sisters, like the Dominican sisters. We have helped with the construction of churches and repairs to churches, and we've also helped with catechetical projects.
Yes.
For example, I believe the little catechism and also Child's Bible in Arabic.
Yes.
What message would you have for those of our benefactors who have helped with projects, not least helping refugees to make their way from this country to places of sanctuary? What would your message be to those who are watching this film?
Really, first, let me thank your aid of church in need. We were waiting for your visit without knowing when. I think since 2003 nobody comes here, and for some years we had the feeling that we have been abandoned. The interest was only for the north, for the Christians in the north. I think it's important. This visit is very important. It renews our hope that your agency and other agents of Catholic Church, last year you become an organization,
a pontifical foundation.
Yes. Foundation. It's very important. So your presence, your visit, it's a sign of communion, and I think it's important for all Catholics, maybe especially for your donors, for your for all the members of Aid to the Church in Need, to be sure that everything you do is a sign of communion, is a translation of this communion into reality. So this is very important. I hope we can continue this communion. This is.
And obviously there's so much to pray for in Iraq, isn't there? There are so many problems, so many difficulties.
Yes.
But what should those who care about the situation in Baghdad and elsewhere in Iraq, and particularly the Christians, what should people pray for most urgently?
I think first for Christians not to emigrate, really to discover the importance of their presence here, and then for youth.
For young people.
Yes, young people is very tempted to go away. Young people are dreaming. They think that everywhere abroad will be better than to be in Iraq. I am very anxious for our youth.
Archbishop, thank you very much indeed for your kindness in this.
Thank you.
And God bless with everything you're doing.
God bless also you and all who work for Aid to the Church in Need.
Okay.